Hi internet people. So I'm going to try and get through this Orphan Black recap without crying because terrible, terrible things happened on a scale of MK terrible, only it feels like worse because things. Okay. This episode focused on Felix's art opening, which was really cool and I've been super excited about because art opening. But then because this episode sounded so cool, I knew something horrible was gonna happen. Okay, I'm gonna try and be zen. Okay, everyone is back from fact collecting. So Delphine is back, Adele is back, and Felix is back. So Felix and Adele go to see Mrs. and Sarah. They've been like staying up all night, like protecting the fort because they're expecting Neos to come in, but it looks like the Neos aren't coming. So everyone is sort of like recapping everything for each other. So Delphine and Cosima are looking over stuff, and they have a conference call with Mrs. S, and so they're going over some of the stuff. And then Adele and Felix show up, and they're talking about the art opening, and Sarah's like, why are we doing, what? She had forgotten that it was happening. I guess it's been scheduled for a while, and the only clone who's technically supposed to go is Sarah, because if they all show up, then there's a huge problem, because no one's allowed to know the clones exist, even though the paintings are all about the clones, because you can say it's one person, which Felix has done. So Sarah's the only one who's technically supposed to go, but Allison and Donnie are helping set up the exhibit, and Hellwizard is going to be DJing the whole thing. So Adele is preparing canapes, or canapes hors d'oeuvres, stuff like that with Sarah, and Sarah's trying to pump her for information by getting her drunk. Felix is at the loft and he's getting stuff ready with Donnie and Allison, and he and Allison are talking, and it's cute, and I love the two of them together. Just because they have this really interesting relationship that I like wouldn't have expected, but it works so well between the two of them. Mrs. S and Delphine say that they need to head out. Cosima does talk to Scott about the cure, and they have a bunch of cure. Like, they have a ton. Like, they could just start giving it to Litas, which is great. But Delphine and Mrs. S wind up meeting at this hotel, and at the very beginning of the episode, we saw Rachel sort of stumbling around to get to the elevator, and we saw shoes, and I literally assumed it was Ferdinand. It looked like his legs. I don't know why. But she gets her eye sewn shut, and it's bandaged, and it is Ferdinand. Turns out he is the Deep Throat. He's the guy that's been giving them insider information, which I had a feeling about this whole time because there had to be a reason Mrs. S wouldn't reveal this insider's name. Like, there had to be a reason. Ferdinand was called to help Rachel, and then their meeting, Mrs. S needed him so she could get to Rachel. And so she and Rachel are talking about how they have a ton of information, but she knows Rachel has to have the actual like, detailed info in a shadow file, so it would show all of the money and where it's been going. But she has to convince Rachel to give it to her. While they're working on that, Ferdinand, though, wants Rachel to give him all this stuff, and then they'll just go. Like, that will, like, provide them with a legacy. That'll be great. They'll get to be together. So he has his own ideas. He actually has her, he, like, watches her download everything, and he goes to the Neos. He goes to a board meeting, and he's going to reveal everything. So that's going on. Felix at the art opening is really nervous and really excited, and then Allison says that they should do something to make it interesting. So he actually starts introducing the clones in connection to their portraits. So he actually introduces Allison with his Allison painting, but they're all named after goddesses, which is really cool. And when he introduces them, the guy is very, very, like, on it. Like, he's really enjoying the presentation. Then Allison gets clone swapped out, but Colin was there earlier, and Allison had to pretend to be Sarah, and it was great. But Allison dips out and is replaced by Cosima, who didn't even know she could come to the show because they kept telling her no, even though she wanted to. So she comes in, and she and Delphine are like partying. She does this awesome dance move because when Felix introduces her stuff, he just tells her to do whatever feels natural, and she dance parties because clones dance party, and I love it, and a ton of people join her, and then Delphine buys her painting, and it's great. There are moments from this episode that are very sweet. Which I think is to balance the end of this episode. Anyway, but she does the dance. She and Felix, like, she's so excited. She doesn't really want to leave, but she has to go, because Sarah is coming. Before she got there, Sarah managed to get Adele to get pissed off enough at her to reveal, fine, you want to know everything? This is what happened. And she's like, Delphine just did what Mrs. S wanted her to. We did what we were supposed to do. Like, we didn't do anything crazy. The only thing that happened was Mrs. S took a call, no, Delphine took a call with a French guy, like Franz, and literally Sarah goes, Ferdinand, and you're like, everything hit the fan. And that was the halfway point. They show up at the party. Sarah confronts Felix about the call, and he's like, I didn't know, like, this, I'm sorry, that's terrible, like, I don't know. Even if he did know, he is still not okay with it. I don't think he did, though, or maybe he didn't put it together that it was Ferdinand. I don't know. She comes in and does her bit for her painting, which is also cool, like, she says hi. And then that's happening. But then, turns out that all the files Ferdinand thought he had were not there because Rachel actually gave them to Mrs. S, and Mrs. S met with her, and now she has them, and she sent them to Delphine and Cosima, who can now post them anywhere they want, like they're sending them to people, because they have everything. Yeah, I'm also leaving out a part that I need to get to because it's Helena, and Helena's didn't, like, it fit in, but it's really hard to add Helena's plot into the recap because everyone else was connected this week. But I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna do a couple other things, and then I will officially do Helena's. But she has all the stuff from Rachel, but then Ferdinand finds out about this. He goes off at the boardroom, kills a guard, threatens to kill the other guard, the board member, shoots a guy in the foot, leaves. Rachel calls Mrs. S to warn her that he left unharmed, but that happens after he attacks Rachel, and he tries to choke her to death, and it gets very, very creepy because the word daddy keeps happening, and I literally hate when adults use the word daddy in relationship to not children. I don't know, something about it gives me the creeps. I don't know why. I don't know. And that whole scene I was like, please stop. Can you just call each other by your names? Please? Thanks? Please? Ugh. He attacks her. She warns Mrs. S. Mrs. S leaves the party. Art has also been helping out. He's at the party too, sort of doing like security surveillance kind of stuff because Charlotte and Kira are actually staying with his ex-wife and his daughter. Like, they're all together because he thinks they'll be safer there. And he thinks his daughter will get a kick out of random friends staying over. So that's going on. But when Mrs. S leaves, before Mrs. S leaves, Felix gives this amazing speech about all the women in his universe, and it's great, and he talks about nature versus nurture, and the art gallery guys are super digging it, and they buy all this stuff, and they're buying his back catalog, and it's so awesome for Felix, and the speech is so sweet, and I was already crying, and it was so great, and he's so proud to have been raised by Mrs. S, and to have Sarah, and to have found Adele, and like, that's the party, and they're still partying, and Hell Wizard plays crazy music, and all of that. But Mrs. S has to leave. I'm going to stop with Mrs. S leaving, jump to Helena, and come back. Because once I get to the rest of Mrs. S's plot, I'm going to lose my mind. So, Helena has Gracie, and she does not trust Gracie at all. She actually confronts her while holding a butter knife behind her back. Then Gracie's like, no, Mark died 2 weeks ago. And she keeps asking her about it, and because she insists she's alone. But then she calls Mark and says, no, I didn't find her. So she's covering for Helena. But the problem is she literally called her from a Neo phone. And then Cody asks Mark if she thinks she was lying, if he thinks she was lying to him. And we don't see his answer, but I'm guessing even if she wasn't lying, Cody didn't believe her. They're like dealing with stuff. Helena finds the phone, confronts Gracie. Gracie says she lied. Helena says we need to run because they're tracking us. She actually gets food ready, like she has everything good to go. They go back to her room, and then the creepy frickin' fake partner, Art's new partner, is there with people who subdue Helena, but they don't want to hurt her. Helena is yelling, and she wants to kill them. Gracie is on her knees, because she apparently got there before her, and then Gracie gets shot by the partner, which I feel so bad, because Gracie was actually covering for Helena, and Helena was going to protect her, but Gracie was a loose end, so I had a feeling Gracie would die. Like, I keep thinking anyone who's a character who, like, disappeared at any point in time during a season, excluding clones, is going to either be killed off or something terrible is going to happen to them. It's just an assumption I made going into this season, and Gracie and Mark are loose ends. I still think Mark is going to die. I don't think Cody's going to cure him. I think he's just going to die. So they now have Helena, which is terrible, and I'm really pissed about it because I wanted Helena to be protected forever. Like, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, they got Helena, they can't have Helena. So, they have Helena. Mild good news, Delphine and Cosima have sent all of the stuff in, which I think I already mentioned. So, like, that's going on, which means all the stuff is out there. So, yeah. But they have Helena, and they're gonna need to get Helena back. Okay, Mrs. S goes home. This is the part I was avoiding talking about. She goes home. Ferdinand is there. because Rachel warned her Ferdinand would be there. They both have guns. They managed to put the guns down. Apparently Mrs. S has one stashed, and Ferdinand found it before she got there. So she has no stashed gun. He has a stashed gun. They're confronting each other. She was going to shoot him and didn't, and then he shoots her in the chest, and she falls. And she wants him to give her the picture of Felix and Sarah that she has on the mantle while she's dying, and he doesn't want to, and he throws it, and then she shoots him in the freaking throat. So one, Ferdinand is dead because we got to see him die, which I needed because he's a terrible human being who should have died after MK died, because should have died before MK died, but whatever. He's dead, and he's going to rot in hell with terrible human beings, and I hope he gets experimented on by all the other Neos in hell. There we go. But then we watch Mrs. S talking about she has a 14% chance of surviving because she's a woman, and she's like holding her chest, and she's holding the photo, and the photo starts to fall, and she's still bleeding, and then the screen like froze, and nothing happens, and I know she was dead, and then the episode just ends, and I'm literally crying. I'm so sorry. We lost her. I didn't want to lose her. Like, I was really worried Mrs. S was gonna die this season because eventually they would have to, like, not that they'd have to get rid of her, but it's one of those, like, character arc things where, like, the hero finally grows up and doesn't need the person who took care of them. It happens in a lot of stuff, so it makes sense that Sarah would lose Mrs. S because she's not going to need Mrs. S anymore. But I freaking need Siobhan. I need her in my life. The chickens now have no mother hen, and I'm very upset about this, and I don't know, like, I can't, and like, they have more people to mourn, and I just can't right now. I don't know. I was really upset when the episode ended, and then I've been trying to be high energy-ish. I actually almost made a drink before filming this, and I knew that was not going to help. But yeah, so we lost Mrs. S. We have 2 episodes left. They need to get Helena back. The info is out, so hopefully Neos are destroyed very early in the final episode, so we get, like, happy Helena baby stuff and things, because I'm still so upset about the end of this episode. I had a feeling. I was talking with Paige on Twitter. I forget her last name, but I was talking with Paige, and I talked to her on and off about Orphan Black, and she thought Mrs. S would die this episode, and I was worried someone main would die this episode because it was like a happy episode, and anytime there's a happy episode, something awful happens, and that's why I quoted happy. But yeah, so in this moment of downbeat energy, I'm just going to say that was the episode. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, or over on Twitter. I am at ClefNotes. We can mourn for Siobhan together, and we can continue to mourn for MK because I'm still upset about MK, so we can just mourn everybody in a giant pool of grieving, sobbing clone clubbers. But besides Twitter, you can find me on my blog, cliffnotes.wordpress.com, or for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com, and I run the Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP. Bye, internet people.